Welcome to Cutting Edge Cosplay, where your fellow geek girls hang out and talk all things cosplay. And today, you might notice a little something different about all of us. We are dressed as the Disney princesses, but they're peasants first. And so, everybody, who are you? Why did you choose your character?
I'm BearsRawr, and I'm Snow White as a peasant. I chose my character because Snow White is my favorite Disney princess, and I actually built this one completely from scratch.
Yeah, you did.
Mm-hmm.
That process was so cool. You did such a great job, Bears.
Oh, thank you. I'll tell you all about it in just a little bit, I bet.
Good.
I'm ThunderBunny, and I chose Cinderella because a different one was already taken. And not only that, but I have actually already cosplayed as Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, and Ariel.
Time for something new.
Yep, it's time for something a little different. And then this one is also blonde, so it makes it easy to...
So fun. So I chose Aurora or Briar Rose because she's Sleeping Beauty. Like, she gets to just sleep for a long time. I really like the whole story, and I love the whole aesthetic, the art in the movie. Overall, it's very enjoyable. One of my favorites. And yeah, I don't have no complaints of it. And I also love the fantastical elements of Maleficent, like turning into a freaking dragon. And Prince is really sweet. So plus, like, she gets to live in a cottage, which is just amazing and so fun. Mm-hmm. So yeah, definitely a dream cosplay for me.
Yay! I'm glad it's a dream cosplay for you. That's amazing. I chose Ariel because I've done her before, but I really wanted to do an upgrade of her. And so this was a fantastic reason to do that. She's an awesome redhead. Love me some redheaded characters. Also, like, who didn't do the whole, like, side of the tub splash thing when you were a kid?
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
So she's great. She has the best animal posse with, Scuttle and everybody. And so she was an easy pick for me. I love Ariel.
Love me an animal posse.
Oh, all of us, yeah.
Love an animal posse. But she doesn't really sing that much. A lot of Disney princesses sing a lot, but she has one song before her voice is taken away, because she has part of your world, and then she reprises it later, but that's it.
She would have had more singing parts, but she skipped the audition, the grand show. Yeah, I really like also that Snow White is also super accommodating, super nice, but she is a little bossy too, like polite, very respectful of everybody, but she like lays down the law. Like, she cleans up the house, which wasn't asked for, but she also forces all the dwarves to wash their hands, whether they like it or not. And I just thought that was really cute. She she takes care of business. She's like, I appreciate that about her.
Yeah. I like how my character's like a hopeless romantic. So sweet.
I feel like Sleeping Beauty also has the best prince because he is like the only one that actually does something. Like, if you think about the other ones, either they just show up and like give a kiss at the end, or like they're just completely oblivious, like Prince Eric or whatever, just not even realizing.
Dog, that's about it.
Yeah, just completely
pretty funny.
I'm gonna jump in and defend Snow White's prince, actually, because he is a delight. Because at the very beginning, in full peasant mode, she's just off in her own world. She's singing about wishing wells and wanting the man of her dreams and just thinking about how great that would be. And he hears her and he just kind of like creeps up. And as she's looking into the wishing well, singing and singing, he kind of pops up and joins in. And he just seems like a good time. He seems like he would be fun. Mm-hmm. And she basically gets kidnapped by circumstances. I know she like runs away because she's being hunted by the huntsman, but he had literally no way of finding her. And then until he finally did. And then he was there and like
he just
followed
kind of, like,
through.
Stumbled across her though, and then like it was like her funeral that he came to and just ended out like kissing her. And like that was about it.
I don't think so.
Like,
I think he was. I think she was just
Philip.
being like basically held by the dwarves in a grove.
No, she was in a glass.
Yeah, but
coffin.
But they couldn't bring themselves to get rid of her, so they just kept her body because she was so beautiful.
Yeah. I mean,
Like, it wasn't a funeral. She was just like,
They just
sitting
kept her
there
dead.
dead.
which is kind of creepy. Well, and then, okay, so also in the, like, older, darker version of the story, it wasn't the kiss that saved her. It was, like, I think her coffin, like, slid and, like, fell off a cliff or something, and it knocked the hunk of apple out of her throat, and she like woke back up. And because like the witch had tried more than just the apple to try and kill her too, because there was also like a poisoned hair comb and like a few other things too. But
know what we should do? We should have, like, as we're dressed in our little peasant outfits, we should just read out for like a reel, like the origin story of the character. The real one, not the Disney one. I think that would be really fun. Because I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that about
that either.
dislodging the apple.
yeah, no.
Gotta look
like
that
you
up.
said, the prince didn't do anything. So.
Okay.
But-
The Disney prince, then I'll stand up for. The OG prince, deadbeat.
Well, I mean, for Cinderella too, like my prince can't even recognize who I am if I'm not all like makeup up and everything. Jeez. We're testing out shoes over here. So.
Oh, wow.
Right?
That is true.
I mean, he sees a lot of bitches, okay?
They're lined up out the door.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas Prince Philip full on fights a dragon witch thing. Like,
He's a bounce.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know, it was meant to be.
Oh my gosh.
A dream come true. So let's talk about the process of making / altering whatever we did to these cosplays. And it's kind of a little hard to see on the screen, but what did y'all do for yours?
I got a lot to say, so I'll go last.
All right, Rebecca, why don't you start?
Sure. So mine, I had the skirt already from when I previously had done her, so it was nice to kind of put it to use again. I got this shirt that has like little billowy sleeves and it has little like silver on it too, just because I wanted some sparkle.
Yeah, that's good.
Ooh, now that you
Thank
mention
you.
it, I can see it in the sleeves.
Oh, I wasn't sure if it was showing up on camera, but I promise it's there. But then this corset I got, I'm going to stand up a little bit. So this I got from Timeless Trends.
How perfect. Wow.
It's the perfect color for her, which I know is kind of up for debate because sometimes it looks more black and sometimes it looks more blue. And I saw a lot of people did the black ones, but every so often I'd see someone do a cosplay with her with the blue bodice. And for some reason, I feel like that just looks more real. I don't know. And so I was like, it's going to be a dark blue. And I knew Timeless Trends had an overbust like this, kind of like with this neckline. And I knew they did this color, but I hadn't seen them do this color on that cut. And so I messaged them and I was like, can you use this fabric on this course? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, yes, sick. So I got the corset custom fabriced, and then this wig was commissioned by the Magical Designs, who also did my Rapunzel wig, because they are really good at princess bangs, which have like their own gravitational pull. So I could
top
definitely
heavy.
not do this on my own. Yeah. So a lot of people helped make this happen.
It looks
so
so
cool.
great. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
I never would have thought to just ask for the right material of a corset. Like, I would never even consider doing that. What a good idea.
Yeah, well, not all places do it, but Timeless Trends does. I think they do like towards the bottom of their page, I think you can put in a submission or a request and they can say no to it if it's like completely out of stock fabric or something like that. But they're like, yeah, we have that fabric and we can put it in there. You got it. And I'm like, oh, I love you guys. Thank you. So
Awesome.
nice, pleasant surprise. Yeah.
Yeah,
You never know until you ask.
cool.
So.
It's cool that you got the blue also, because I think that's more like aqua, like mermaidy. Like it just makes more sense to me.
Definitely.
Gorgeous.
Thank you, darling.
So my dress I originally got on Amazon, but the skirt part of it was sparkly and pink. And at first I was like, oh, maybe I can like edit the color in Photoshop, but that's a lot of editing. And I was like, you know what? I have enough time. I think, and I need to learn how to start sewing anyways. So I decided to take on the project of redoing the skirt, and it took me, I did it. I mean, it took about a week to get the fabric, to make sure I could find an iron and an ironing board, because we just recently moved. So that was a multiple day process of trying to figure out where those things went, between storage unit and garage and all this stuff. So it took a while to get the fabric, ironed and ready, and but once I kind of got it all cut out, it only took a few days, really, and I used the old skirt as a pattern. But I'm really happy with the color. I asked the girls whether I should do the mauve color or like this like darker tan khaki kind of color, because the pictures are all different, and people who cosplay this character, I saw both, and I just kind of felt that the purple added more color to her, because she has like kind of a darker ashy blonde hair. The top has like tan in it already, like an off-white, so I felt like more color was just brought her more to life, I suppose. So yeah, I turned out really great. It was a fun process. I don't think it was like, and I also sewed it to the top, so it was a learning process. It definitely isn't something that I could replicate the process of, really, I think, because it's not like detachable. I don't know. I just made it work, essentially, like my sewing process.
But that
So
kind of makes
to
it
learn.
easier, right? You don't have to find two pieces. It's already there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm really, really glad that you went with the mauve, because I feel like the pink is a little bit more magical anyways. So I think it ended up really nice. And honestly,
It's comfy, too.
it
I
looks
like the fabric.
It looks like you could have bought it that way. Like, you did such a nice job. It looks really
Sweet, thank you. Actually, it goes really well with your skirt too. Like, this is, I mean, the color I was gonna pick was a little bit lighter than this, but look, we look so good together.
You weren't pulling this one up high enough to see. Yeah. So, yeah.
So yeah, it was a learning process, but it was fun, and it was definitely beginner friendly to be able to take on that project, and I'm glad it worked out and it's comfortable. Oh, and the wig. The wig I also got on Amazon, and I wanted to do something special with the bangs, because I know Aurora has the little swirls and stuff, but the bangs were not long enough. So I think I'm going to look into, I think you mentioned Arda Wigs or like some other companies to maybe upgrade this one. I mean, it actually is pretty impressive for the, I don't know, it's like super cheap on Amazon. So for a beginner, I'd recommend, but I do kind of want to switch it out in the future and just go for more dramatic bangs.
Mine's the easiest. I bought it on Amazon, and I tried it on for the first time today, so I'm glad it fits.
It looks good. It fits well. It fits really well.
So
If you want a last minute option, go to Bunny, ask her what she did, and you know what? 15 minutes later, you'll have it done too.
yeah,
Like, she's the master of just pulling it together and making it look incredible.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
The hardest part was trying to do these like bang things, which of course the headset's like starting to pull down, but they worked out pretty well, and I couldn't quite get the curl down here quite right, because her hair kind of does like this thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I was trying to get as much volume, as I always struggle with volume with my hair, and so I was just like, well, I'm gonna try and curl, like do this thing as much as I can, and then just hairspray it. And I mean, I'm a peasant. I can look kind of ratty.
Oh, God.
And but not only that, my outfit came with like this little bow, because like her hairstyle changes a lot throughout it. Like sometimes it's all the way down. Sometimes it's got like a little bow pulling it back. Sometimes she's got like this like head thing.
Oh, handkerchief.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that's right. Okay.
So on top of all of this, so I have a lot of options, which is kind of nice, and it was great that the costume came with like all those little things. The only thing that I didn't really have were the right shoes. I haven't quite moved them into where I'm living now yet, and they're all really old, and I don't wear them anymore because I tend to wear flats to death. So I have tiny little socks that I'll be wearing for my photo shoot.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, and she's mostly inside all the time anyway, so
Yeah, my character's barefoot, so that's going to be interesting to take the photos outside in Seattle when it's been raining. Yep.
I wish my character was barefoot. She's got these great wooden clogs. Incredible. It's so nice.
They look like loaves of bread.
Perfect.
Well, because
Oh
they're
my
kind
gosh.
of yellow too, aren't they? Or am I
They go back
wrong?
and forth. Sometimes they're yellow and sometimes they're tan, and it literally depends on the version of the movie that you have.
The quality of the VHS you had.
Oh my God.
Watching this movie just like in preparation, and I had it on in the background almost the entire time I was making this. I purchased it on Amazon Prime, and I also have the DVD. And on one, I don't remember which is which, but on one of them they're yellow and one of them they're tan. I was looking specifically for that color. Yeah. So do what you want.
Interesting.
I was actually building these loaves of bread myself out of foam, and I didn't quite get them done for today, but in a shoot in the future, they will have real clogs.
Did you not
Foam
proof
clogs.
them long enough in the bread maker?
I don't know how to bake. Oh, man.
No, that's what the dwarves are for.
Yeah. No, she bakes.
Yes.
She makes the pie, gooseberry pie.
Oh, and the little bird jumps around
Yeah.
the little circle of the pie with their little feet, and
Okay.
they make the little like crosses.
Yeah.
That's so
Okay.
sweet.
Best
much-
animal posse.
How much work does she actually do though? Because I feel like she gets a lot of
Delegate.
yeah, she has the
She's the
most
manager.
help from any of the animals. It seems like if you compare like all of us, like yeah, like you dance around with like the little owl in the shirt or jacket thing, but then like you actually get like
Yeah.
regular help, like cleaning the house, doing the baking.
And
I
you know
don't
why?
think I do anything except for collect berries because I have my three
The dream
little
life.
Yeah,
fairy
you've got your
godmothers.
fairies.
The fairies does it.
that
They
are
do
trying
everything.
so hard not to use their magic because they don't want to like throw up any red flags.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
don't think she does much. I think she just chills.
Yeah,
I mean, she's a princess. She doesn't know
forest
it.
life.
Yeah. Dream life.
Cottage aesthetic.
Oh yeah, cottage
Cottage
core.
cottage core.
Original cottage core vibes right here.
Oh my god.
My little basket.
Okay, no, but you know why Snow White gets so much help from the animals is because she scares them at the beginning, and then she feels so bad that she makes friends with them all. She is very polite to them. She treats them like equals, and they respect her for that, and then they help her out. There you go. Be nice to everybody, and then you might not have to clean your house.
Takeaway.
They'll do it for you.
I like
suppose
it.
that makes sense because I get help from the mice because I make them little outfits.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mm.
that makes sense.
See?
They're cute. They're cute.
Make them outfits.
You have- Rebecca, you have the whole ocean.
yeah, you have like
Yeah.
Scuttle, which is
Well,
the most
and
annoying
Scuttle
animal
and
in the
Flounder and
background.
Sebastian, like my homies, they're the best. So
Yeah, that's why you don't have to sing, is because they'll sing for you.
they've got
See?
it. Oh yeah.
the
Sebastian's
sea.
definitely got it. Scuttle with his squawking, got it. Like, what am I doing here?
Why am I even in this movie?
You're
Yeah.
a side character.
Well, kind of the side lady too because he runs off with the other one.
Oh my god. Okay, our villains
right.
though, the villains are freaking badass. Like they're so cool.
Mm-hmm.
All of our
Yeah.
villains are so cool.
I think you've got the
Stepmother?
best villain, though. No, Ursula's pretty good too.
She's pretty cool.
Ursula and Maleficent, I think, are two
Yeah.
of the list.
I
Yeah.
think, I mean, your villain is like the most relatable with her, like her daughters.
Lady, oh, I can't think of her name.
Like that, I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. Having an evil
Mm.
stepmother and then like, you know, like spoiling their kids and like having not you. And I don't know, I
Yeah.
think it's a different style, but she's definitely a villain.
This is gonna like kill me if I can't think of the name.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. Okay, I still think Ursula is the queen.
Lady Tremaine. I was
Tremaine.
thinking
Oh, that's
like
right.
because I was so close. I was like Germaine. That's
Tremaine.
not
Say
right.
Germaine.
Tremaine. Yes, Lady Tremaine. Ugh, such an evil lady.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, speaking of the like more folklore version of my story, my character is normally like referred to as I think Ashenpuddle. And the stepmother wanted so bad for her daughters to be chosen to like fit in the shoes that she made them like one of them cut off her toes to try and fit it into the shoes, and the
Oh
other
my
one
God.
cut off her heels to fit into the shoe.
Oh,
I remember
Is this
that.
Yeah.
is this a Grimm fairy tale? Are these?
Well,
But most of
Grimm or
ours-
like folklore.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
or,
okay.
I know Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty. Or actually, no, Cinderella, Snow White, and Sleeping Beauty are within like Grimm's fairy tales, but like
Because I've also
Snow
read
White's not. Snow White is
Ariel's
um,
too. Because like she turns into sea foam,
Yeah, well, she doesn't want to turn into sea foam, and so she has to fall in love with someone who's human, and then she'll get legs. But if she gets legs, every step that she takes will hurt as much as like stepping on glass or something like that. And so it's going to be like this really painful existence either way.
And that's kind of the fun thing with just general folklore. If you think of like various fables, or like I have a huge book of Russian folk tales, and those things have some harsh endings. Like all of them are harsh endings. We're just like, oh geez, it's kind of like Wishing with the Genie, where like you think you're gonna get something good, and no matter what, everyone's screwed.
A monkey paw.
Yeah.
I have from Neil Gaiman 2 different comics. One's his version of Sleeping Beauty, and I also have a Snow White one where she's like a vampire. And they're cool. They're good. Cool. Yeah, all the different versions are so interesting.
Marissa Myers has a really cool book series too that's like kind of like a cyberpunk version of these
I started
fairy
reading
tales.
those. Yeah.
Cinder is one of them, where she like is Cinderella, but like she has like robotic limbs and is like a mechanic in like her little world, and then gets brought into royalty for variable reasons. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think every book has a character that's kind of inspired by a Disney character. Yeah, I got the whole series because I read the first one and I absolutely loved it. I need to continue with those for sure.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
So what is your guys' favorite Disney movie besides, if we'd mentioned, our own characters? What other ones are your favorites?
My favorite classic Disney movie is, well, I was going to say Snow White, but actually Lion King. Lion King is absolutely my favorite. I know every single word to the Lion King still, and I've watched it probably about 10 trillion times, would be an underestimation. Like, love Lion King. Of all time Disney animated movies, and I'm counting like not the live action ones, not Star Wars, blah, 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 but like actual like cartoons. Emperor's New Groove. Can't be beat. It is so good.
It's so quotable.
It's so fun.
My favorite has always been Lion King. I do also like love Beauty and the Beast, and Robin Hood. But like growing up, like you were only like movies weren't as available as they are now, so it would depend on when they were released. And Disney was always very big about like, this is coming out of the vault for however long, and then it just is gone for
special edition.
Yeah, you can't get it anywhere, or anything like that.
Oh, I remember that was being so exciting.
And so like, for example, Snow White was coming back out for like, it was coming out of the vault for like some anniversary or something. My mom was so excited about it. She got me this huge like painting or whatever. It was like a scene from the movie when they're like dancing around and like Cinderella's doing the clapping and then the dwarves are around. And my mom was so excited. And then I saw the movie for the first time and I would not watch it.
Were you scared?
The witch scared me so bad.
She's really creepy.
And because once she like turned into like the really like scary typical witch, and I remember sitting in the basement watching the movie with my brothers with a blanket, and I covered my head when I knew she was going to transform. And of course, older brothers, they were just like, okay, she's gone. And I pulled the blankets down just in time for it to be zoomed in on our face, like, So I have always had a theory that you can normally tell about how old someone is based on their answer to what their favorite animated Disney movie is, because it's normally whichever movie came out about the time that they were 3.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So if that tells you anything, you could probably guess about how old me and Bears are. Like 3 or 4 is normally
20.
Not a tail.
But yeah, just 3 or 4 is normally the age that people are when the movie is released.
Oh yeah.
Based off of my survey that I've done over the years.
If you're wondering, Lion King came out in 1994. I was 4 years old.
So Lion King, growing up, Lion King was my favorite as well. I basically had a Lion King themed Christmas. Like all my gifts were Lion King. My birthday was in January. I got a whole bunch of stuff for the Lion King. And then like, I don't know, Halloween, maybe the year, right before that.
I think both of us have dressed as Simba.
Yeah, we were Simba.
Yeah.
And we were Simbas for Halloween.
Think about it.
What?
Because I think we'd also dressed up for your birthday party too.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
So I had like the
Please tell me pictures exist
Yes,
of you guys
I have
dressed up like
photos.
Simba.
I do
Yeah.
somewhere.
I
do.
I have
I had
like
a sweater.
individually, so there's like one of her and then one of me, but it wasn't like us dressed together because I think we used the same costume. It was like,
Are you sure?
I'm pretty
Okay.
sure. Yeah.
That's so
Because I think
cute.
you wore it like for one event and then like our parents were like, oh, they're about the same size. Like, you like Lion King too, let's just make you wear it. So.
Yeah.
Aw.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
We have to find those. We'll have to find those.
I already know where they are. They're in the Halloween book.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I had like comforter for my bed. I had a sweater like that I wore to school that had Simba and Nala, I think, on it.
We might have had the same sweater.
Yeah.
Did you have a sleeping bag with Simba on it?
Yeah.
Oh, and then
all
I also
that.
had a Nala stuffed animal where like you'd kind of like shake
Yeah, and
her
her
and
head
like
would rattle.
I had the
Oh,
ones
no,
where they
her
kissed.
butt-
Their noses were magnets and they could
oh,
like.
I had that too.
We had all the things.
the one that I had, like you'd kind of shake her or something, and it would be purring, but it would be like coming out of her butt. So
Oh, I know. I had something like that, but it was her. There was like a rumbly thing in her head, and that would be the purr.
Oh, I see. It was like somewhere like in the
Yours was
chest. But I
defective.
think, I think it started off in the chest, so it was like a purr, but then it like over time it was used so like cuddled with
Well
and
loved.
everything so much.
Well
Loved, yeah.
So besides the obsession that was Lion King when we were growing up, I would say my favorite other Disney movie, I really liked Robin Hood growing up. I liked the animal ones growing up. And then
I was an animal kid too. Is there an animal in it? Then that's the one I
Yeah.
like.
That does go back to what I was trying to say before. Is Robin Hood was one of those that I loved, but it wasn't fully available to me.
it wasn't that, I think it wasn't
so-
as popular. And I was able to watch it because I had older cousins that had it. And I think
Okay.
you had older brothers.
Yeah,
so.
my older brothers were so much older though so we just didn't own it. And the only version that we did end up having, so back in the day, PBS used to have those fundraisers or whatever. I can't remember what it's called, where people call in and give money.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like a phone-a-thon thing.
Yeah, something like that. And whenever they would do that, they would do just movies nonstop and then like break it up with their like, okay, if you want to donate, call blah, 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 blah. And we'll have someone right on the line for you. And so what my dad would do is he would pay attention to when those things would happen. And he would record it. And if he was really on top of it, he would like stop the recording for like the little like pauses or commercials and then like start it back up.
That's such a dad thing to do.
Yeah. And so then of course you have like one VHS that had like 3 different recorded movies on it. Mine had Homeward Bound, Sword in the Stone, and Robin Hood. And I believe Robin Hood was the 3rd one. So I'd always have to like fast forward it all the way up to like where Robin Hood was. Or like if I was rewinding it, I'd be careful like where I stopped it just to make it easy because I wanted to watch that one the most.
So my family every year used to go with all of our aunts and cousins and uncles and siblings and everybody to this one house, and we would all like spend the week bonding, family time, blah, blah, blah. But in that house, they had all kinds of puzzles and games and movies, and one of those movies was Robin Hood. And so since we were little and we couldn't really watch most of the grown-up movies, we would watch Robin Hood every year, probably multiple times during the week. It never really felt like a Disney movie to me because I never paid attention to when The Vault released that movie. And it was kind of more of like when we go to that house, I'll get to watch that movie again kind of thing. It was like a special treat of a movie more than like something that I wanted to watch all the time. There are better Disney movies, in my opinion. Well, if you like that one and that's your favorite, great. It's a good one. It just would never make it to like my top tier Disney movies.
On that point,
Yeah.
though, too, like the Aristocats was
I
one.
was just
I
gonna
that-
love the
Yeah,
Aristocats.
that's
Never
one of
mind. That's
mine.
another slow-moving one, but it is one of
It's
my
so
top
good.
tiers.
And
Another
that one's-
animal one.
That
That's
one's
so
not
cute.
really my favorite, but it always makes me think of my grandma because she
Aw.
was like the one person that always had that. Her house was the only place that I would ever really have the opportunity to see the Aristocats, and of course she was going to get. Oh, another one was all dogs go to heaven.
That wasn't Disney though.
Oh, well,
Oh.
shit. But that was another one that she had. So.
When I was thinking of the like fantasy, because I like the fantasy themes, I was like, oh, well, Ferngully, but Ferngully is not a Disney movie. But that is
I love
another
that
like
movie, though. Is
same
that Universal?
style. No, it's like some weird off other
Oh, really?
thing. Yeah.
Is it DreamWorks or something like
I
that?
thought it
No.
was Universal, like because I remember back in the
You'll
day,
have to look it up,
Universal
I'm not
used to have
sure.
like the big globe, and then for the animated movies, it would have like a little like plane that would like boop 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 and like go around the globe.
But I'd say like another one, like when I was starting to get a little bit older.
Croyer Films.
Yeah, I think it's like Australian or something.
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah. None of the things we said.
Yeah.
So Hercules and I would say Atlantis, just because of the visuals and the colors are so bright and it's just such a good time. It's so fun and there's a lot of like action throughout it. So I think those ones are now like kind of after I grew up a little bit, my new favorites.
I feel
Atlantis
like
is so
Atlantis
good.
and Road to El Dorado are two that like always get forgotten
yeah.
that
about.
one, yeah, that one's good.
I love
I
Road to El
loved
Dorado.
Is that a
Road to El
Disney
Dorado.
movie?
I thought it was hilarious.
Is that a Disney movie?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it is.
I actually don't think so.
Maybe
Road to El Dorado.
Atlantis is.
Road to El Dorado.
Let's see.
Oh my gosh. Where
There's also Treasure Planet, which is also really cool, but
Yes.
it's not, the story is kind of
DreamWorks.
odd.
Okay, DreamWorks.
Okay.
DreamWorks had a lot of really good movies too.
I really want to like Treasure Planet, and I just don't like it that much. I have tried so many times because I know a lot of people swear by it. It's just not for me.
Mm-hmm. I watched it. I think I watched it once and I loved it, and then I watched it again. I was like, oh no, oh no.
So it doesn't hold up. Okay.
Yeah, but Hercules, man, I
I
want to watch
really
that
liked
today.
it. I liked
Yeah.
Treasure Planet. I feel like those ones, I know people who like it more than I do, which is not to say I don't like it, but they like love it. And it's because they grew up
Right.
with it. And so I think
Okay.
there's more of that nostalgic factor for them. But I would say this is hard to think of, like, because Hercules and Mulan are always up there for me.
Mulan too.
Mulan is
Mhm.
iconic.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I need to say more about Mulan. Hercules, that was another one where we had the merch, right? Like we had
Yeah.
the Hercules gladiator sandals
Aw.
and all of these like Hercules themed things, and just oh god, it's so good. And I'm actually watching it on Monday, which
Oh,
is so
Yay!
because I found out one of my friends hasn't seen it, which I was like, okay, we're gonna
What?
do that. 'Cause that's
Yeah, that's a
that's
sin.
not okay. But I think one of the more recent Disney movies that I love is Tangled. I love
Mhm.
it.
Tangled is so cute. I
Tangled
love
is
it.
It's
great.
adorable. Yeah.
Your cosplay of Tangled was amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
So fun. And I
That
love
wig.
there was like, I think you did TikTok or pictures or something where you're like frolicking, jumping back and forth. You're like, yay, like with your little thing. And
It was a lot of fun.
Okay, Rebecca, tell me what, if anything, makes cosplaying a Disney character different from cosplaying like a video game or some other kind of movie or a comic book character? What makes it different?
I feel like the first difference that comes to mind for me is the kids, because kids will know if you're the real Ariel or if you're not, or they're forgiving in some ways, but like they're gonna grill you. And I feel like you have to either be doing a photo shoot and like that's it, or be like a party princess.
Mm-hmm.
And kids aren't gonna know the difference. So you kind of have to know some stuff about it. And so I feel like the kid focus is a big difference for Disney ones. I don't know if you guys feel the same though.
I think so. Well, I have the armored version of Snow White, and I'll wear it to conventions, and I get lots of positive feedback from everybody, but I get incredible feedback from kids specifically.
good.
Because, yeah, you're not the real Snow White, but it's obviously Snow White. And I had a little girl come up to me and like kind of look me up and down like
all judgy.
she knows Snow White better than anybody, I guarantee, to this day. And she kind of like crossed her arms. She was like, why don't you have the prince do that? And I was like, I can fight my own battles because I am a princess. And that like completely changed her mind. And it was awesome. It was awesome to like have that little moment of playing with the kid basically and having her realize that she don't need no man. she can stand up for herself, like kind of like reframe the situation of like, yeah, no, I can fight my own battles. Like I don't need the prince. And so that was a cool moment. I've also done variations of Snow White at conventions, and those are the ones like kids are scared of grown-ups in general, like strangers in places. And I've seen kids where I'm wearing other costumes kind of like look and like want to come say hi, but they'll come say hi if you're a princess. It's like kind of more welcoming, kind of more like it's nicer. I also think that when I'm working on a Disney cosplay versus a different style of cosplay, it just puts me in a different headspace. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like I feel more at ease and like positive and like little things that are mistakes. Since I'm in like that, I've really only done Snow White. So since I'm in that Snow White mindset, I'm like, oh well, I guess this is a learning experience. It's just like puts you in a different space. And I really enjoy that about doing the cartoon. I don't know if it's just Disney specifically, but like cartoon cosplays, I guess. Have you guys felt any kind of difference between doing this or doing anime or doing?
I think there's like a timeless look about it. So even though I'm a bit older, I still feel like I can still cosplay this character with grace, even though she's 16 in the movie. I don't know. She's an adult in their eyes, like in the movie. That's a
really good point.
So I feel like I can do it. And I just feel like there's something timeless and classic. You could always cosplay this character. I had a video game character I wanted to cosplay. I don't know how to say her name really. Byleth from Fire Emblem Three Houses. But this year, a new Fire Emblem came out with new characters, a completely different story. So I feel like I can't cosplay her anymore because there's a new and improved game. Not improved, but it's like a different story. And that Three Houses had its time and place, unfortunately, when COVID was a thing, like just starting. And I feel like I missed that time. So I can't cosplay that character. Whereas any sort of Disney princess, it's never going to go out of style. You can cosplay it whenever, and everyone's going to know who you are. And so it's I think a very beginner friendly area if you want to pick a character, just go back to the roots of Disney.
That's a good point because they are so iconic and they are easily identifiable versus, Black Widow, from Marvel, we can identify her, but you're like, is it from Age of Ultron? Is it from Winter Soldier? Is it in her White Widow suit? And that it's great that there's a lot of variety in her outfits too, but people will also be very picky about it versus Disney characters where it's like, there's 2, maybe 3 outfits they wear.
And they're not drawn the same in every scene either. So you have a little bit more leeway. That was actually something that I was learning making this outfit. I love numbers and math and for everything to just make sense. I love it. But I kind of get into my own head with that a little bit sometimes. This skirt has like patches and stuff on it, right? And they got little triangles, got some squares, and they're very plainly shown in the movie. The scene is only 3 minutes long, but it's like they show you every angle. It's great. And so I had a screenshot pulled up of the front view and a screenshot pulled up of the back view, and I was making the patches, and I was getting so detail-oriented on it. But I had it like, okay, so the triangle side is this long, we'll call that X. And if I do this, we're going to say the rectangle on the back is probably 2X, maybe 1.75X. And that means that this line, we'll call it Y, is going to be half of... I was getting so in my own way with that.
Oh my God.
And
So if you want to talk to Bunny about a fast costume,
and if you want to get real down to the details with it, talk to Bears.
Or if you just like eyeball it and try to make it work with no numbers or pattern, then I guess I could answer some of those questions. It looks fine.
Well, the problem was then I hit play on the movie and the numbers didn't add up anymore. I was like, okay.
Oh no.
Okay. We're going to just eyeball it. Great. And it took a big weight off of my shoulders. But it also was helpful because it meant, okay, if it's not perfect, that's fine because the movie's not consistent literally 1 second from another. For at least for the classic movies, it might be different now that they're 3D models and stuff. But for the illustrated movies, Disney and every other illustrated movie, hand drawn, they're not perfect. You can get away with a lot more, which is nice. And it is beginner friendly. And it's kind of a relief to know that don't have to be perfect. It just has to be close enough. And everything cosplay related anyways, as long as it looks good from 5 feet away, you can make a couple mistakes and be all right. I think I was talking about the sleeves last time we were here recording and why are the sleeves that way? I actually found a video that tells you how to take the measurements for the sleeves and it made sense and it was awesome. And now I can make sleeves and I understand why the sleeves are that shape and where they got the numbers to even make those shapes. And I can do it now. And if I can do it, you can do it. And how hard could it possibly be? I was so excited. You know what is impossible? Sewing on these patches was a nightmare. You know why? Because this dress is a lot of material and you have to go around the patches, which means you have to push your whole dress through the machine. And what the heck? So
yeah.
So
I don't know if there's a trick to that.
There is. It's hand sewing.
I'm not doing that. No, because there's too much material to do that too. I have to hold like all of this stuff in my hand to get to this part. There's too much material. I don't want to do it.
Okay.
What were you going to say though? Because it might help someone else, not me, because I'm stubborn.
So, because you don't have to go like all the way through and then other side all the way back through. Like you can just, like if you just kind of bunch and then go through, just staying on the top, all you have to do is just hold the back so you know you're not like sewing two pieces or extra pieces together, but just pinch through the top. Mm-hmm. And you can do it fairly quick that way. And especially with a patch for a costume, you don't need it to be like sewing machine, sturdy.
Yeah,
it's just
I did it.
Stitch it up.
I did a couple things. So to get the skirt exactly in the right placement for when the top kind of tapers down, I did hand sew it in spots just to get it to where I wanted it. And then I ran it under the sewing machine. And yeah, it sucked because it's a lot of fabric, but you just have to make it work.
Well, that part is fine because you flip it over itself. And so if you're sewing here, you have the ridge of the material pointing towards the bulk of your machine and the whole dress is over here. So it's fine. Oh, I'm talking about.
I didn't do that. I had it half and half. I had like the top on this half and then the bottom on the other half. And I like through.
That's a way to do it.
Well, we can talk about how to do that differently after this. But I don't know. So let me know in the comments if there's a way, if there's like an easier way.
There's a lot of right ways to do this.
Versus pushing your whole dress through that. Because like the needle's here and the machine's here and I had to fit the whole dress through there. Is there an easier way to do that if you don't want to hand sew? Let me know in the comments. You know what? Wrong answers only. Hashtag how hard could it be? Put it in the comments. I want to hear your make stuff up. I want to hear it.
Also, thank you to the people that had answered our like last minute question on Instagram.
Oh, yes, yeah, thank you.
That was very exciting to hear all of your views. And I'm not taking notes, but I kind of have an idea of how old each of you are now, just being creepy.
Okay.
But great answers.
Yeah, I think our number one answer was kind of a tie between Lion King, thank you, good taste, and Aladdin, also great.
Also great taste. Do you remember they used to have a TV show of that?
Of Aladdin?
Oh, yeah. And then there was also one that was
Yes.
Timon and Pumbaa. I used to watch that all the time, too.
Mhm.
So fun.
Mhm.
But some other ones that we didn't talk about earlier were like the Rescuers Down Under, which, by the way, Rescuers Down Under was way better than the first one, in my
Yes.
opinion. And I think that's kind of most people's opinions that I've talked to about it.
I'm not a sequels girl, but that one.
That spot on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We also saw.
I've also heard a lot of people like mention some kind of off the wall ones or ones that you don't really think of because there's no princess or anything like that. But Wall-E and Big Hero 6 came out.
Oh, yes.
Those are good
And
ones.
those
Good
are
job,
fabulous.
guys.
Big
Mhm.
Hero
Yeah.
6 like made me cry. That one was just like surprisingly good. Like I was not expecting that type of
Amazing.
emotion out of that movie. And so
You know who did good job with their marketing was Frozen.
yes.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I love Frozen. But like they had it was everywhere. It was
It
everywhere
still
on
is everywhere.
Facebook. They were playing the songs on the radio. Like, what? That's how you sell a
Yeah.
movie, dude. Get those songs on the radio so I already know them going into the movie. That was nuts.
Actually, I still have not seen that.
It's
I
so
still
good.
haven't seen it yet.
Really?
Yeah.
You just haven't seen Frozen in general?
No.
What I actually really like about Frozen is that it really dives into that culture with like the music and like the art styles and like even the little details on the dresses and everything. It's very cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
and also Brave too, because you did your cosplay for Brave, and because it's like fantastical, and she's an archer, and that's my choice usually when I'm playing games, role playing games, is to be an archer. I would probably really like that too, but I don't know. I don't know. I need to get on it. I need to watch those for sure.
We can stream it. We can do live stream reacts where you watch these movies for the first time.
Oh my gosh.
That'd be fun.
And we'll sit with you and watch them with you. I just want to watch
I don't
movies.
think you can legally do that, but
Same.
okay.
No, just don't show the movie.
Oh,
We'll just show
okay.
yourself reacting
Oh,
to it.
okay.
Yeah.
It's just you like
They
watching.
have timestamp. It'll work.
Like Harry Potter music in the background or something, like something completely different.
Right.
Oh yeah, huh? Okay. We'll think about it. It was a dream, guys. Good job.
Oh, a lot of people said Hercules were their favorite too, and I was like, yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Well, and
So
that,
fun.
that one's another one where like the art style was way different than a lot of the more traditional ones. And I think that was definitely like a good call because it changed it up. It like kind of reinvigorated a lot of interest
Yeah.
in Disney.
And the story
And all of that.
too is like training to be that hero, like having to work out and go through all these trials and having your little coach there.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
so fun. And I think they just incorporated so much history, like what is like Greek mythology and stuff that
Oh, yeah.
every single second, like you could watch it 100 times and still miss little Easter eggs and things, which
Well,
I think Disney does a really good job normally, but that one was just jam packed.
Yeah.
Like so many little clips.
They were
They're
also
so
good
fun.
with like adding in like even in their jokes. So like there's a point where Phil says 2 words, I am retired. And then you see Hercules like trying to count on his fingers. But in like the Greek language that translate like when you write it out, it's only 2 words. So yeah, it's
Mhm.
So good.
so fun little things like that.
Mhm. Well, and Hercules, I feel like, at least to my memory, is like one of the first Disney movies that was really geared towards little boys.
Mhm.
Because it wasn't about the princess. There was Meg, of course, but it wasn't really about her. And
Right.
so that was kind of a cool switch up for them to do as well.
Yeah, that's good.
If you think of the other ones that might have been more geared towards boys, like there was like the Rescuers Down Under, which had a boy main character, whereas the original Rescuers, it was a little girl. There was also like Peter Pan, but
Yep.
and Peter Pan's cool, but honestly, he's kind of a jerk.
Yeah. I mean, little boys usually are jerks. So.
Well, true. And then like Robin Hood, I think also is a little bit more geared towards boys.
Treasure Planet,
Oh yeah.
for sure.
Lion King.
And
Lion King.
Yeah.
kind of
Lion King's
both.
very
Yeah.
boyish.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lion King. Good point.
I wonder about Tarzan.
What
or
about, like,
Jungle Book?
Tarzan.
Yeah.
I love Tarzan.
What's the one with Todd and Copper?
Oh, Fox and the Hound.
Fox and the Hound.
yeah.
That's
That
a boy
was
one.
too sad.
I don't think
I don't
anybody
watch it
likes
because it
You're
makes me
the
cry.
best of friends.
Nobody includes
So
that. 'cause
no,
so
it's
sad.
too sad. I don't like it.
I liked that one a lot.
No, it made me too sad.
What about 101 Dalmatians? Do you guys
I
like
love
that
101.
one?
Yeah.
I also really like the live action one too.
I did too.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Cruella.
Oh yeah, with Glenn Close.
Oh, I was talking about Cruella.
Oh.
Yeah, Cruella
Well,
is
yeah,
so
that too.
good.
But-
That was so cool.
But Glenn Close was a really good Cruella as well.
Yes, she was. I forgot about that one. They had a whole, like, McDonald's did a whole big thing for 101 Dalmatians when the live action one came out. And they had, like, a bunch of little, like, dogs that you could get.
Aw,
And
how
they did it for
cute.
Lion King, too, actually. I had a Simba where its tail was kind of like, his tail kind of went like this over, and then you could wind it up, and it would rotate the tail around and kind of like flip the lion over.
What other Disney
Me too.
characters have you guys cosplayed in the past? This is my first. I mean, I did do like an Alice in Wonderland, but it was like the video game, the gothic video game version.
Well, you
Alice,
cosplayed
like-
Simba.
Well, yeah, I guess I did. I did. yeah. But like as well cosplay, it was the Dark Alice one, but that was for a Halloween party at her house years and years and years ago. I think that's like the only. And it's not. This is the first actual legit like Disney me trying.
Well, Bunny, you've done a lot of Disney.
I
Yeah.
have. I totally forgot about Alice in Wonderland because I was thinking about. I was trying to count them in my head while I was driving here today, and but yeah, my Alice in Wonderland, I made that like from scratch. Actually, no, not from scratch. I got like probably like an extra large blue dress or whatever from like Goodwill or something, and like it was one where like the sleeves did this.
Oh.
But I needed them to look like this. So I like cut out the corner, like the inner armpit corner, and like tried to stitch it up. And then like I tried to do some other alterations to kind of like puff it up a little bit.
Scrunch.
And I took tulle and shoved it into the sleeves to poof it out a bit. I made my own like petty skirt and everything. I also cut off like the bottom half of the dress too, because like I said, it was huge. I made my own like apron and everything. I even made like a little Cheshire cat out of like cardboard where it was
Aw.
like 2 eyes and a mouth, and I attached them with a wire clothes hanger. Like it was just these 2 eyes and a mouth like floating next to me. And I also had like little chess pieces and cards and stuff in my little pockets. But yeah, so I did that. I've been Tinkerbell, Simba. I did Snow White.
Next episode, we're gonna be Simbas.
I did Snow White. I've done Ariel. It was more of like the peasant version for like a choir performance.
Oh, cute.
I did Sleeping Beauty, but it was more of like a joke version. So I was in like a long like sleeping like nightgown. But I had the crown though too.
You did Cruella.
Oh yeah, I did Cruella.
Mhm.
I've been Belle when I was probably about the same age I was when I did Simba. It was
Belle
my
would be a fun cosplay to do.
yeah,
next.
because it was the big yellow dress, and you can
Mhm.
like get the really cute costumes when you're like a kid. It's harder when you're an
Yeah.
adult because it's a lot more
Yeah.
fabric. I feel like I've been more villains though too than just Cruella.
Have you ever done Maleficent?
No, but I've wanted to. I just haven't.
You did
done
a
it
great
yet.
job with
Yeah.
Maleficent.
So
That'd be so cool.
I've wanted to do Ursula before too because she's always really fun. And she's probably one of my favorites just because she's just so evil and awesome.
Sassy.
yeah.
I don't know if I think of more. I'm sure I'll pop them up at some point, but
just blurt it out.
that's a pretty long list.
Yeah,
now that
it
I think
is.
about
That's
it.
really good.
That's great.
I totally don't like Disney, you know.
Just the worst.
It's the
Sarah,
worst.
what about you?
I have a couple of versions of Snow White. I bought the dress, like the princess dress from like Amazon or something. It didn't fit very well, but I've worn it. I have the casual one from Wreck-It Ralph, which is another great Disney movie. I have casual Merida from Wreck-It Ralph. I have armored Snow White. I have armored Merida. I have armored. Who are you? Ariel. I have armored Ariel too. I haven't actually shot armored Ariel before. Those are the only ones I can think of. Oh, I've done a Cheshire
Cat.
Worcestershire sauce. Cheshire cats. I've done a bunch of Disney. I like Disney a lot. I think it's really fun. And like I said, it gets me in a good headspace. So, and I'd be open to doing more too. I just don't, the opportunity must arise. So how about you? You've done a bunch.
At first I was like, I don't feel like I've done that many. And then I went through, thank God I've been like actually finally keeping like a list of cosplays I've ever done because I would forget immediately. So I think I've done 7. Ariel, of course. I did Honey Lemon from Big Hero 6.
Oh, that's right.
Like,
Yeah, so
awesome
cute.
scientist lady. Love her. I don't know if Fiona from Shrek counts as, is that DreamWorks?
That's DreamWorks.
Pretty sure that's DreamWorks. Okay, so then we've done 6 plus 1 DreamWorks. I did Helga Sinclair from Atlantis. Long ago. I would love to do her again, but she's like that blonde braided baddie. So I did her, and then I did Judy Hopps.
Oh yeah,
that's Disney.
I love that movie.
Right? Zootopia's Disney.
Zootopia's great. Okay,
Yeah.
yes,
Zootopia's very good. And then I did Lola Bunny from Space Jam, and then Rapunzel. And of course, that's not counting Marvel or Star Wars, because apparently those are Disney now too.
I believe it is.
I don't think so. I don't think Looney Tunes is Disney.
Is it not?
I don't think so.
Oh, you're right.
Isn't there Space Jam stuff?
Warner Brothers.
Yeah, so speaking of VHSs, I think I owned about 7 or 8 Space Jam VHSs, and that's the only one that ever got eaten by my machine, but always Space Jam got eaten by my machine. I don't know if they made those VHSs different or what.
Oh gosh.
Well, speaking of like variations of costumes, like your
Armored
ones, yeah, that word. Has anyone seen the other like variations of some of these like Disney costumes that they thought were really cool?
People do such creative variations of Disney. I've seen a really good, it was like a samurai version of, I want to say Snow White, but I might just be thinking that because I'm wearing Snow White. But a samurai version was really cool. I've seen lots of Mando princesses, and those are great. I would love to do a Mandalorian. When I first started cosplaying, there was a group starting to form that was doing Mando versions of the Disney villains. And I was going to do Cruella as a Mandalorian. And I had it all planned out. And I was really excited about it. And I got a helmet. And that group fell apart. So I never really did anything with it.
Okay.
But I was this close. So let me know if I should revive that or if I should just keep working on other things. That's been in my mind for like... How long have I been doing this? Like 5 years?
Oh, I don't know.
Probably longer than that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Cool. What's like an?
I love it
dream
when people
cosplay?
do like grim versions, like the horrorized versions of the characters, like Ariel with like her throat like massacred,
Oh my
or
God.
like her eyes or like scales and stuff, and just like creepy siren rather than like Little Mermaid, or just like everything bad that happened to the character, like doing that with SFX makeup and stuff. So cool.
That's
so
such
cool.
a good idea. I've never seen that. I've seen art of it. Like I've seen like illustrations of it, but I've never seen anybody cosplay that before.
I can show you a bunch of those.
Oh yeah, you have a whole collection.
Yeah, not ones that I've done, but
Yet.
oh yeah, I do have
Yes,
that too.
you
She has a lot of artwork.
I have a lot of artwork that's
like
also
horror
like zombie versions of all of the princesses. I follow a lot of people on Instagram. I'll share some of their stuff with you, because like they'll do ones where they do the transition where it's like all the pretty version, and then all of a sudden like the Alice in Wonderland one, like she's like been poisoned by like the little drink me vials, or Ariel looks like she's been like drowned with like her throat like torn out and other things like that. So
that would be so cool.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I really like the armored versions. Like it'd be cool to see like in a group. Like as a group,
yeah,
like crazy with like swords and stuff. Cool. Pretty cool. Or I think there's also like the cross play ones where it's like the princes, but like the females are cosplaying the princes of all the Disney movies. I think that would be kind of fun to do.
All the princes, don't they all kind of sort of look the same though?
I don't
Pretty
know.
similar.
like I said, they don't really do much. They just show up at the end and
Like
reap
they've
the
got
benefits.
their blue jacket, boots, tight pants.
I mean, they look like
Tight pants.
princes. But,
With them.
yeah.
Okay.
What's a cosplay that you want to do next as for like Disney related?
I really want to do Meg so bad, but I know it's going to be like her hair. Like we've talked about Rapunzel,
crazy.
we are looking at Ariel hair, but her hair it's
You need
It's
a
so
body
funny.
harness for
Yeah.
that.
yeah.
Well, you're
so
in
that
Texas
terrifies
now,
me.
so they can probably tell you how to do it.
yeah, tease it. The higher the hair, the closer to God.
Awesome. Meg, yeah, I was thinking of Meg earlier, and I was like thinking of you like custom, getting your custom made wigs. I was like, you would have to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
there's no way.
Mhm.
Gosh.
Or
Yeah.
Tinkerbell. I would love to do Tinkerbell too.
Cute.
I have another dress I was thinking of using for another version of Tinkerbell, but otherwise I think I want to go back into villains again because those are always more fun to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking of villains. I think it would be fun to do Ursula. I think it would be fun to do. What I like about Snow White is my face is already her same shape, so I don't have to like worry too much about the contouring and stuff. And so when I look at different like characters, I have to think about like how would I do that, and I'm just not very good at makeup, and so a lot of the like angles I can't quite get. So this is why cosplaying this princess is my favorite one. I don't know that I necessarily want to do any of the other princesses, but exploring the different villains would be really fun.
Mhm.
And I also like we brought up so many movies that I hadn't thought about when I was on my way over here. So I was like, I need to review. What are the
Yeah.
Disney characters even? I don't know. Like
There's a lot that I haven't seen. I really am not a movie watcher in general. So there's quite a bit of Disney movies I just either have never seen or I haven't seen in so long I just can't really remember. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. We just recently watched Sleeping Beauty and Snow White, and I was like, wow, this is a banger. Like, this is so good.
they're so cute.
Oh my God. So I was like, hell yeah, this is awesome. Just because it's just been so long since I've seen it. I really didn't really remember too much of the movie. So yeah, I need to go back, have some little movie nights.
So if you could shoot this character that you're wearing right now anywhere in the world, do you have like a dream location to shoot it at?
Obviously, a cottage in the woods that has lots of little cute details that's like, in there.
Yeah, they have those. They
have
them
those.
in real life, not just in movies. Did you know that? There's probably an Airbnb that is like that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Mm-hmm. How would you?
Probably any type of like stone hall. That would probably require a lot of cleaning.
I feel like it would be fun to go to Germany into like the Black Forest and like get it shot in the real location that Snow White was based out of. That would be incredible. When I went to Ireland,
I was like, you went over there somewhere.
I went to Ireland,
Ireland, okay.
and they have a bunch of like you can access the castles in there. So that would also be really cool, just because I'm familiar with that area already, so I know where the castles are everywhere. Spoiler
Everywhere.
alert. So it would be really cool to shoot this in an actual castle, maybe one with like really pretty like velvet curtains, because after the prince sneaks up on her and gives her a spook, she runs into the castle and just like peers out. I think that would be really fun to do in an actual castle.
Yeah.
With like a balcony looking down at a wishing well. I don't think I've seen a wishing well in real life in a really long time. So somewhere with a wishing well would be nice.
I feel like my dream location would have to be like a whole thing. Like I would want to do underwater Ariel.
That would be amazing.
Which would have to be a really expensive tale. Like everything would have to be different. And like, because I've seen people do these beautiful shots in like underwater in Hawaii. Like the water is warm and you're not freezing or anything clear. Like, how cool would it be to see a mermaid like right under the surface? That'd be awesome. So,
cool.
It'll never happen, but it's a dream.
Hey, don't never say never.
Yeah,
when I was researching, when I do my Armored Disney characters, I like to do a lot of research into their backstory, because I specifically like to do what would their armor be given their time period that their story is and the location that their story is at. So like what would the armor be? What would they even wear? Right. And so when I was doing Ariel, I was, her origin is a little bit murky of where I narrowed it down to the Mediterranean. It seems to be the going rate for where she's from, which means she would be a gladiator. So she,
That's badass.
we could all go to Europe. Money's not real. And we can stop in Germany and do my little Snow White shoots. And I completely agree. I would want I would probably commission a dress if we were going to go to the actual place.
Mm-hmm.
Keep this one though, because it's actually pretty cute and comfy. But then we can pop on over to Italy or Greece or something and shoot your Ariel in the real location. There's some beautiful areas over there too. So,
Oh yeah.
I don't know if the water's clear in that area though, because isn't there a lot of trade that goes out of the Mediterranean?
Yeah.
Well, we'll worry about that when we get there.
I don't know. I thought you were commenting on the murky aspect. Like, I don't know if the water is very clear there.
No.
Okay.
No.
I thought you were making a joke.
I don't joke. I accidentally say things. Jeez. No, no, I meant it's just the lore is unclear of where specifically, but that's probably where.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. Disney origin stories.
Yeah.
You guys have anything else you want to talk about?
Well, thank you for joining us. We're going to be shooting these peasant princesses, probably in the alleyway somewhere, or out in the woods. No, out in the woods, of course.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for those. They'll be coming out. Otherwise, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, you can find us on we're on YouTube right now, Instagram. We have a Patreon, so thank you to our patrons. We also have playlists on Spotify if you ever need something to inspire you to keep crafting. What else have we got going on? We've got a lot going on. Find us anywhere you are, that's where we'll be too. And I'm going to start streaming my craft days on Tuesdays, starting in the beginning of March. So we'll start sending out more concrete information on our stories on Instagram. So just keep an eye out for that. Come hang out with me. You can see the trials and tribulations that go into outfits like this. The next group cosplay that we're doing is going to be DC Bombshells. So build Wonder Woman with me. It's going to be a good time. I don't know how to sew, so you'll learn while I learn. It was great hanging out with you guys today. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Princess Wave.
Oh, yeah.
Splash, splash, splash.